Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, Brother Gaia, back again. We are doing our recap of one Fight Night 40 as well as one Friday Fights 142, which took place last week, Friday and Saturday. We have two newly crowned champions over the weekend. We have Nico Carrillo beating Shadow to capture the Interim Featherweight Muay Thai title. And then we also have Stella Hemetsberger becoming the two sport champion in the strawweight division, both kickboxing and Muay Thai, taking the belt from Jackie Buntan. Okay, before I get into that recap, please drop a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are growing. Each and every one of you that have been clicking on our channel and building up the community has just made it all the more sweeter for us to keep doing what we're doing. Also, one more thing I want to let you guys know before I get into this recap. Please keep a lookout for today. We are going to be doing a live interview with Bokang Masunyane, currently ranked, I think, number 2 or number 1 in the men's strawweight MMA division. I know we don't have any rankings right now on the website, but I think it's safe to say that Bokang Masunyane is definitely on his way for a title shot against Joshua Pasha. We will get more about that later this evening. Look out for that. I'll talk about that a little bit later this evening. But okay, as always, we will start at the top of the card. Let me bring it up on screen for you guys, and then we'll talk about these matchups or reflect on some of these matchups as they went on. Okay, first one's first. Jackie Buntan faced off against Stella Hemetsberger in the strawweight kickboxing division. And it was actually quite a nice rematch, I must say. Very high level. Very high level. Lots of intricate details that the women were displaying that resulted in the fight the way that it did. And I'm going to break that down for you. So, first thing I want to do is congratulate Stella Hemetsberger for the win. I picked Jackie Buntan to beat her. I felt that Jackie would have made more adjustments to do so. I must say, she did make some adjustments, but I don't think the adjustments that she made was going to bring her that success. And what those big adjustments were, she used a lot of kick-heavy approach in this fight. In the first fight, she didn't kick that much. In the first fight, she was boxing primarily. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, I thought that the boxing was more successful than what the judges or what the scorecards read in their first fight, which is why I thought she was going to use that a little bit more in this fight. It's just to get straight up into Stella's face and box with her, right? But Jackie chose to kick more. Her approach was kicking more, and she chose to box a little bit more round 4 and round 5. I felt that if she did that from the first round, she would have had more success. Stella, on the other hand, she fought the perfect game plan, and her adjustments to me weren't that different to the first fight. If anything, she was just a little bit stronger in this fight, that she had better defense than she did in the first fight. In the first fight, she was getting caught a lot by Jackie. In this fight, she was a lot better defensively, and I was being active. She's got a very active defense. Not just like jabbing and running away. She actually attacks from the back foot, and she kept Jackie on the edge of her strikes for 5 rounds. This fight, I know it's a split decision, but watching the fight back again for the second time, I don't think it was as close as a split decision gives. I think there were more rounds to Stella than I initially thought when I watched it live. When I watched it live, I had a little bit of biased goggles on towards Jackie because I had money on Jackie, and I also felt that she was going to do a little bit better. But I noticed after the second round that Jackie didn't really change her approach. She was still on the outside. Kicking game was heavy, a lot of switch body kicks, but kept the hands here and didn't really get a chance to get in and do her best work. And there were shots in the rounds. I think it was round 2 and 3 where Jackie cracked with some big left hooks, really made Stella step back. But what Stella did fantastically in this fight was whenever Jackie did get success and actually hit Stella, make her go backwards, land some big shots on her, Stella retaliated almost immediately. Like if Jackie would land a good shot, boom, to the body cover with a left hook, bang, right, rocking Stella back, put a combination on her, in with a nice low kick. But then as soon as Jackie finishes off a combo and gets back into stance to step back now, Stella immediately walks her down and lands her own combination. Bam, 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 leg kick. She would throw a 2-piece into a leg kick. Basically attack Jackie back exactly the same way, instantly. So it's like, I think that one of the fight, in my opinion, was more of when Jackie was initiating the attacks throughout the fight. Right? Stella would only burst forward after she got hit by Jackie. She wasn't when they were out on the outside and Jackie wasn't initiating any offense. Stella would maybe throw out the jab. Throw out the deep, low kick, deep, walk backwards, go side to side, stay out the range, and then wait for Jackie to burst. When Jackie bursts, she'll block, take a shot or two, but then immediately retaliate. And that is why I was going Jackie. It's why I was going Jackie. Watching the fight live, I was like, Jackie's winning this fight because all the car crash moments, all the big moments in the fight started through Jackie. Stella didn't initiate anything. She was happy to be defensive fighter. She was happy to be on the back foot, happy to move laterally, happy to throw out teeps all consistently, which I think actually one of the fight was the teeps and the low kicks. But never really did she go forward and make Jackie go backwards, popping out jabs, hitting the body, amounting at least a solid 5 minutes of offense on her, or at least 3 minutes of offense on her, and then keep her going backwards, bang, 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 bang. She didn't do any of that. Stella stayed on the back foot the whole time. The whole fight, she stayed on the back foot the whole time. But this is what I mean by active defense. When Stella was on the back foot all the time, a lot of what she was doing that didn't allow Jackie to initiate conflict as much as she would want was Stella's deep. Stella would go side, 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 and then jump and deep, almost like a jump oblique kick, the way she was throwing it. But she was throwing it to the stomach, and she was throwing it every time to disrupt Jackie when Jackie would come in. So Jackie, even though she initiated all the offense, all the aggression, she initiated the car crashes, there weren't that many of it because Stella did a fantastic job at just stopping it. Jackie would go there and she'll get heavy pressure, and she'll come forward and she'll initiate something. And Stella would just push, kick, get back to stance, get back to the defense position, and move and reset and move. And that allowed Jackie never to really get any rhythm. She never could get any rhythm. And that's how I thought Stella won that fight. Stella just basically reduced the amount of attack she had to face against by utilizing her range really well. She's taller. She did keep Jackie at her bay very good. Jackie, although I thought she got the bigger punches. Stella's nose was busted up again. Although I thought Jackie got the bigger punches, I don't think over the course of 5 rounds there were enough of those moments to actually get her the title, to make her retain the title. I thought Stella stole away from her every round by, keeping the distance in their favor, eliminating the amount of siege that she had to take throughout the fight. And whenever Jackie did land on her, Stella would respond exactly the same way or even better. So when you look at the overall theme of the fight and you judge it on what was happening, you have to give it to Stella because not only did she minimize Jackie's ability to get at her, but she also attacked Jackie whenever Jackie attacked her with maybe more output. Jackie's front left leg was definitely bruised up after all those low kicks. So there were just more. I would say Stella won the fight due to managing Jackie rather than actually beating her up. She didn't beat Jackie up, but she managed Jackie for 5 rounds. I think that's why they gave it to her. I personally don't like the decision, not because I'm a Jackie fan, but because I would like to see a third fight between the two of them. I personally feel like the first fight there was doubts for the result. I thought the result was questionable. The second fight, I'm not impressed with it. Because I don't know. I thought damage was the number one rhetoric, and in this fight, I thought Jackie landed the bigger damage in shots. Not enough. There wasn't enough in each round, but there also wasn't a lot from Stella either. Stella was on the back foot the whole time. So it was like, for me personally, it was like, okay, she won on fundamentals. She won on the rule set. I get that, but at the same time, it's like it's a split decision. She didn't really pull herself away from Jackie. It wasn't like I dominated her, and I don't want to see a third fight again. Do you know what I mean? That didn't happen. So I would love to see them throw down again. I thought Jackie had the bigger shots in the fight, and if you're scoring a number one damage number one rhetoric, then you should be giving it to Jackie. Because now what we did here is that we gave Stella the title on being on the back foot the whole time. You gave her a title from running away and then attacking after she got attacked, not because she was controlling Jackie and making Jackie do what she wanted to do. That wasn't the case. Stella's most active weapon thrown in the fight was a teep kick from a defensive position, not going forward to hurt her. Right, that was the most frequent weapon she threw in that fight. Whenever she did throw big exchanges with the boxing, it's only because she retaliated after getting punched by Jackie. The leg kick was working for her a lot. I liked the leg kick, but again, like what are we doing for Stella that warranted her to get those rounds? You know what I mean? She didn't bust Jackie up at all. So again, I'm not in the camp of okay, they fought twice, we don't have to see it again. I don't agree with that. Because people are basing that on we've seen the fight already. Yeah, but you can't ignore the context of these fights. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore how the fights played out. What was the dynamics of the fight? You know what I'm saying? And I think in these two fights, they were so close that because the one's only 26 and the other's only 27 and 28, I feel like they would fight again. Especially when you think about the division. If we talk about the strawweight division, they don't have a lot of contenders there. Let's be realistic about this. There's not a lot of contenders. And we talk about atomweight. Yeah, there's a lot of atomweight women fighters in one championship, kickboxing and Muay Thai. There's not a lot, but there's more than the strawweight division. There's at least a number of fighters that can contend there, in contest, excuse me. But in this division, there's not many. And if the two of them remain on top of the game the way they are, I don't really see many contenders inside the current roster competing with Jackie and Stella. Unless Rodriguez and Pajija comes up in weight, which I don't think they can. They're not that size. And then that wouldn't mean that one championship would have to then go outside of the promotion to go and get some more fighters to come in. Which again is going to be unfair because it's like they're going to have to go find champions from other promotions. Or that's the only way they can do it. If you're going to fit prospects or contenders, they're going to have to go through a run first before they can compete against Jackie and Stella. But personally, not being sour, I just didn't see enough from Stella for me to go, nah, champion, solid. You close the chapter. You don't have to see Jackie again. I didn't see enough. But for Jackie also, I didn't see enough of her. I didn't think she did enough adjustments to win this fight. Personally, I didn't. She wasn't aggressive enough. I thought she did. I thought she abandoned her boxing where I felt that she should have kept that boxing in there, and not in the way. How do I put this? When I say keep her boxing in, I mean that if you look at the first fight, right? Jackie fought Stella as if she believed Stella could never walk in the same ring as her. If we watch the fight, like Jackie went in there and was like, "I'm fucking you up, but I'm not giving you a chance." And yes, it led to her getting knocked down in that first round. But I mean, for the remainder of that 4 rounds, she was letting the hands go as if she wasn't scared of being punched in the face. In this fight, Jackie's boxing wasn't as high volume. The intensity wasn't there. She only created minimal amount of car crash moments where I felt that she was a stronger puncher. She should have just gone forward. She didn't hit the body enough, which I thought was weird. When she went forward, she would throw out a jab. She would switch kick, low kick, and then get into the pocket. And when she's in the pocket, it's a lot of left hook, poof, right low kick. So those combinations that's coming so fast, right? Of that 4 punches, only one of it had a lot of power in them. So the first 3 was like and the left hook is a big shot she would throw, right? Which wasn't landing that frequently. And then she would go down to the right low kick. And I thought to myself, cool combination, right? But what would actually be great for her is maybe she's standing in a southpaw stance, orthodox stance, coming into the pocket. As she gets in, just crack a hard overhand right, but crack it as hard as you can. She can't throw any elbow counters like they did in the Muay Thai fight. Once you crack her over the hard right hand, you put a lot of power into that body shot. Like you fucking put that fist into that stomach. Boom! Come over with the right hand, and then she can end with that left hook she does to the face. She didn't hit the body enough. So Stella didn't have to worry about that. Stella didn't have to bring her hands down because she could just move. And because she's going sideways, it's actually better to land the left or the right hooks to the body because your opponent's going like this, right? Stella wasn't moving forward and backward. She was moving like this the whole time, right? You're not going to hit that target if you aim straight down the pipe, right? Because they're going to be moving. So Stella, so for me, Jackie had to use more of the hard low kicks. Poof, you chop that legs, you hit the bodies, you attack that body. It's going to stop Stella from moving side to side. It's going to force her to fight in the phone booth with. She didn't do any of that. And I felt that it made it a bit easy for Stella just to dance and stay safe the whole time. And that's how she won the fight for me. I would love to see a third fight, but I think Jackie's going to have to go on a run first before she gets that third fight. The only saving grace for Jackie would be the division is very starved or at least sparse of contenders. So there's not a lot of people that can step up to the plate in this division. So Jackie could potentially see herself back in the title contention for Stella as early as next year or maybe the end of this year. Right, but let me know in the comment section what you guys have for that main event. What do you make of the fights? I know when we had our live chat, I know TSPV and the boys that was in the live were all saying 4-1 Stella, 4-1 Stella. It was an easy win. At best, you might go 3-2 Jackie. But yeah, I watched the fight back again, and yeah, I'm gonna go 3-2, but the rounds weren't that eventful. They were kind of like very like a chess match things. Not a lot of chaos was actually happening in there. I'll go 3-2 Stella, but I say it with not even that much confidence because again, like Stella was doing good, but she never hurt Jackie once in that fight. And Jackie actually cracked her a number of times. Rounds 2, 3, and 4, cracked her really hard, made her rocked her, backed her up really badly, cracked her nose open in the 5th round. So it's like it makes me go back and go, I don't know, man. I don't know because it, again, then makes me question the rule set. Is damage not the number one rhetoric then? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'd love to see them fight again, but preferably in 4 ounce Muay Thai. But let's go. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I'm gonna keep it moving to the co-main event where it was definitive. Okay, so fuck on this one. Let me just conclude it with this one with the ladies fight, right? The onus is on Jackie for me in that fight more than it was for Stella. Stylistically, both women had to. The onus was on both women to take the fight into their hands, right? But Stella took up the fight style of hit and not be hit, right? And that for me is a style that I don't think works when it comes to championship fights. Um, it's safe, but it makes you go. It leaves a taste in your mouth. In did she do it? Did the fighter that moved away a lot? Did they do enough? Did they do enough to win? Because it's hard to score for somebody that's choosing to consistently stay away from danger. Right? It's smart, it's safe, I get that. But it's hard to score for that because you're not initiating the fight. And for Jackie, although she's trying to initiate, I think she needs to try 10 times harder than what she did. She also played it safe. And I felt that the fight like this, where your opponent is moving so much laterally, Jackie needed to do more, not Stella. And I felt that Jackie needed to do more, and she didn't hit the body. She didn't get aggressive. She didn't throw everything out the window when it came to that last 3 rounds. She didn't bite down on the mouthpiece enough. She didn't go in there and try to take Stella's soul from her. And I think that's my conclusion. As much as I'm feeling a bit salty for the result, I still believe it's Jackie's fault that she lost that fight. She just didn't do enough. But you can make of it what you guys want. Let's go into the next fight. So, interim Muay Thai fight, arguably fight of the night of this fight card. Shadow took on Nico Carrillo, and what a war between these two guys. Now look at the difference, right? Neither fighter in this fight took up the back foot. Neither guy took up the lateral movement and staying away, jumping deep, stay away, jumping deep, throw out a jab, stay away. And then when I get hit, now I'm going to hit you back. That didn't happen. Both of these guys fought for the gold. They both went in there and it's like, we're going to put our life on the line for this. It makes for a spectacle, right? It shows you these guys' weapons of choices. It shows you their in-fight management. It shows you a lot about the character of these fighters when they're fighting for the gold. I thought the women were a little bit too cautious. They were too respectful of each other, in my opinion. Shadow went in there and he was putting it on Nico Carrillo. Now I know, again in the live, a lot of the guys were going 4-1 Nico, 4-1 Nico. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought the fight was more close than that. I saw the scorecards, gave it 3 rounds to 2 for Nico. I think that's a more accurate option. I think that's a more accurate reading of the fight. And even the rounds that Nico won, Shadow still fought him like a dog with a broken jaw from I think it was the second round he got cracked. And I think he spat out some blood. I think it was second or third round, and it was like, yeah, Shadow's jaw was fucked, yeah. But he fought all the way through to the 5th round. He fought, and he was attacking Nico. And look, it was a fantastic fight because both guys threw a game plan at each other that was forced to be reset. Right. So for Nico, he wanted to take his time. He spoke about it as well. He wanted to take his time in this fight and not rush. And we all thought he was going to rush, but he actually fought a much more methodical and slower paced fight. But then Shadow was the one who put it on him in the first 2 rounds, which forced Nico to actually, you know what, I can't take my time in as much as I would like to in the fight because Shadow isn't giving me that time. Shadow's actually, he's attacking me. He's attacking the calves. He's attacking the body. Nico was very kick-heavy approach in the first 2 rounds, which allowed for me, Shadow, to actually pick up the pace on him. Even though he's a slow starter. So I gave Shadow the first 2. No, I actually gave Nico the first round, but I gave rounds 2 and 3 to Shadow because I thought he put the pace on him. Even though I think Nico claimed that Shadow had the first 2 rounds on him, I thought Shadow actually had the second and third round, where he put the pace on Nico, attacked him really hard, utilized some good aggression. Shadow's body kicks in this fight was what he was throwing mainly. The calf kicks as well. You could see it was making Nico's legs a little bit sore, but Nico fought right through it and he attacked. I thought Nico had an adrenaline dump over the first 2 rounds, to be honest with you. I thought that when we got into the third round, you could see, hey, he's not looking so tired anymore. He's breathing a little bit easier. Even though the mouth was open, you could see that Nico was a little bit more relaxed in that later rounds, and he started actually putting the work on him. And maybe that was his plan all along. He was like, okay, I'm going to give you that first 2 rounds. But then you could see rounds 2 and 3, 4. Rounds 3, 4, and 5. Nico didn't even have a problem with Shadow anymore. Even though Shadow was still competitive in there, right? He was still blasting those kicks. But Nico's boxing was just a little bit sharper. And you could see it was wearing on him. The one thing I begged from Nico from the first round was, let me see those body shots. Let me see those hooks to the body. I think that's going to really get Shadow to fold. That's going to set up the shots to the right hand, to the chin. And when I asked for that, he actually did it in the third round. I was like, okay, he's going to the body now. And I'm like, it's working, because you could see that Shadow started attacking a little bit slower. He was now becoming a little bit more flat-footed. He didn't move around so much. The defense wasn't as intense as it was the first 2 rounds. And that's because Nico was able to bring that defense down. He was in the body more. He was attacking. He was doing his own calf kicks. Shadow's response to those calf kicks, you could see on his face, there was a few calf kicks in the third round where Shadow didn't like it. He put his foot down and he smelled a little bit, and they even high-fived each other. And I was like, when fighters do that, it's because they're recognizing that they've been fucking hit by something hard, and then they hurt him, right? And Shadow did that. You could see. But it didn't stop him from his game plan. And in the fourth round, he was a bit more aggressive with the body kicks. One of it, Nico caught through an overhand right, which actually dropped Shadow. That was the shot that actually dropped him. And it was a powerful shot, because Shadow took a while to register. I think you get the 8 count, obviously, and Shadow took about 4 or 5 seconds to actually officially look at the referee and go, okay, let me stand up and shake it off. Shows you the power of that shot. I think that was the shot that actually, no, because then there was a follow-up shot from Nico a little bit later that broke his jaw. So it was the 4th round. But it was one of the rounds where Nico cracked him hard and it shook his head like that, and you could see, yeah, might have wobbled his or dislocated his jaw a little bit. And it was a big finish, big strong finish for Nico. 5th round, he managed Shadow hard, which was interesting because in the 5th round, Shadow was the one who was pushing the pace again after getting fucked up in the 4th round. But Nico was so good in that 5th round that he didn't take any damage from Shadow. Even though he was under siege, he was defensively sound. He was checking kicks. I like that. I like whenever Shadow would throw a right body kick, Nico's defense was brilliant. He lifted up the left leg, cup his arms out, check, goes forward. I was like, brilliant. Masterful performance from him against an opponent that I think is going to fight again. Both guys are very young. I think Nico's 26, Shadow's 27, and Shadow's 26. But we're going to see these guys fight again, and I would love to see them throw down. And also, if you think about the division, and it's like, okay, who can they fight next? I think Nico says that Taoufyq should get stripped because he's still in crutches, and we don't know if he's going to come back this year. Super One is ranked number 2 in the division, so Super One should show up. But I feel like he's going to stick to fighting Marat in April. So then Nico Carrillo would then have to fight someone else. I think personally that he should just hold on to the title. Don't fight anybody just yet. If Taoufyq doesn't come back in this year, then Taoufyq should be stripped. Nico must become the unified champion in the division, and then first title defense, Super One. But Super One's fighting, I think it's going to fight April. So then it might be later in the year. Shadow, on the other hand, there has to be other contenders for him. So he hasn't fought against your Luke Lesayes. He just smoked Pampara Kayate, right? There's another fighter in this division. I'm trying to get the name now. I had the name in my head. That bill doesn't have to come up. I don't think he should even. There was another fighter that was not on my head now. That just slipped my mind. Why can't I get this name? I was talking about this name before I even went live. Before I did this recording. But anyway, you guys can give me your thoughts in the comment section about other opponents. This is what happens when One Championship doesn't have rankings on their website. You can see in my face that shit pisses me off. Because it's difficult to keep track. It's so difficult to keep track, especially because guys don't fight so frequently. So it's hard to keep track of the division. Because in my opinion, Bampara Koyate and Luke Lesay are down the pecking order, right? After taking these losses, smoking Joe out of the rankings. Superbon, Taoufyq, Carrillo, Shadow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Shadow's gonna have to take some time off. He fought a lot last year. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure anymore. I really have to go look at the names again. Let me just quickly pull up this Uh, oh yes, Muhammad Yunus Rabat. That's the other one. There's Muhammad Sarani as well. But I think Sarani wants to stay in kickboxing. I think he's a better Muay Thai guy. So I'd love to see him in Muay Thai. But I think Muhammad Yunus Rabat has something to say considering his fight ended in a no contest. He's talented. I don't know if he poses a big threat against these two on screen right now, but he's the one guy that neither of them have got like clear success against. I'd like to see maybe Muhammad Yunus come back into the fray. But for now, I think Nico should only be fighting against Tawan Chai Super One, to be honest with you. And for Shadow, I don't know. He could even get Tawan Chai. I don't know. We'll have to see what One Championship does with this division. It's a little bit, again, sparse for contenders. Hopefully they can fix that going forward. But okay, boys, I'm going to keep myself going forward to the next reaction. Let's go. Good win for Nico, by the way. Crazy fight. Crazy fight. Happy for his performance. Happy for Shadow's performance as well after fighting with a broken jaw. But well done to Nico. Right, up next, flyweight MMA, which is a division that isn't that sparse. I'm using the word a lot today, but this division is not empty. There's a lot of guys in this division that can compete here on all fronts, right? So Danny the King had lost to Wu Yong from China, first round TKO. Big win for Yong. I thought he fought really well. Actually, I picked him to win, but I didn't put him on a parlay or anything just because I just, I felt like it's an unpredictable fight, really. If Danny King gets him down, it might be a difficult fight for Yong. Excuse me. But if Yong keeps the fight standing, I don't think that Danny would stand a chance against him. And like Danny's a high level guy, right? He's fought against the champions only, lost against champions only. But I always felt his style was a bit limited. Like I like Danny's aggression and he's powerful, but his style is limited. He's a heavy grappler. He loves to grapple. And that style of fighting, like the Matt Yu style of fighting, was for that era. 2005, 2006, 2004, 2003. That time, that decade from the year 2000 to 2010, it made sense for that style. That all-American hardcore grappling, take you down, wet blanket you, ground and pound, hammer fist, fight like a gorilla. Right? That style worked back then. The game has evolved. MMA, the fight style of MMA has been around now for what plus minus 35 years. Right? If you've been realistic, it's relatively young. And but it means that it's evolved since then. Like that style hasn't been successful since that era of fighters have retired. Like it's not that successful. And Danny King, this fight again was proof that once Yu Yong was able to realize I'm actually stronger than this guy and I can withstand his takedowns, I can reverse his takedowns, and he did it in the first round. I can put damage on him, and Yong can actually. He reminds me a little bit of Tang Kai, but I'm gonna say a little bit better, even though Tang Kai's a champion. Yong, he's got that same ability, but in my opinion, he fights for the money. It's a funny thing to say, but he fights where it's like it's now or never. That's his style. Whereas Tang Kai still shows me that you can make him give up. You can quit on you. Young, I'm not so sure about that. He's a bit intense. And in this fight, he was able to stop Danny King's takedowns, reverse him, put him in a half guard, ground and pound, heavy elbows, heavy knees, lots of right hooks to the right shots to the face. Danny King had realized after the first knee that he wasn't going to get out of it. Covered up, took the TKO loss, and big win for Young. I think it sets him now up for a good contendership kind of fight. If we look at the division, Adriano Moraes is still there. Wakamatsu is the champion. Abbasbek Kulmizayev is making a big shout for a title fight. We've got Willie van Rooyen that's entered and entering the division. He fought Kulmizayev last. He's a champion coming from EFC. I think he's got a big fight coming up now. Let me just double check that quickly. Willie van Rooyen. But the division is growing. Danny King had Yu Yong. The division is growing, and I like that. I like that a lot. So I think there's a lot for these fighters in this division to see a clear path, right? So we think Willie van Rooyen is fighting Jeremy Miado, who is also in the top rankings, right? So big wins, bro. Actually, big names. And again, there's a path for these fighters in this division. So I'm quite happy for Young's win. He's young, he's vibrant, he's a good fighter. He looks exciting to watch. He could get a Kulmir Zaev next. He could get a Adriano Moraes next. I think at the moment, Wakamatsu doesn't have an opponent, and the Japanese card's coming up in April. So I do believe we're going to see more of a round robin going on in this division. Like I said, Van Rooyen's fighting in Miado in March, right? So we're going to get movement in this division. Yeah, I think the winner of this fight and the winner of the fight from Van Rooyen and Miado will compete against the two that sit in the top up. So I think we're probably going to get Kulmir Zaev and Wakamatsu in Japan. Then either Yu Yong or Van Rooyen would face Adriano Moraes, and then which will leave one of them available for like the next fight, right? So I'm hoping I hope Van Rooyen wins, then he could possibly get Danny Kinghead. Yu Yong will probably get Adriano Moraes, and then Avasbek will get Yuya Wakamatsu. Let me know what you guys think about that one. I'll keep it moving here. But big win for Yu Yong. I like what I saw. Really impressed. So this fight, quick. I think it was like 50 seconds. It was under a minute. Very, very quick fight, but that's because the one guy very experienced, or the other guy has the one style that can actually beat him every day of the week. Ben Tynan won this fight via a first round triangle choke. Arm triangle choke. But he sanctioned up very, very quickly. Ryugo Takauchi got taken down so easily. But that's what you get from him, right? He's primarily a striker, kickboxer. I feel like he'll do better if he takes up maybe kickboxing instead of MMA. But he's got good striking. But that's it. Other than that, like, he's only 22 years old, right? Outside of the striking, he hasn't showed me enough games. And I know we took a bit of a long shot on him on the day. He's such a big underdog. And we're like, okay, maybe he can knock Ben out. But I was always saying to the guys, and I was like, because I didn't want to make the pick. I know AD made the pick. I didn't want to make the pick, but I said, okay, cool, let's just go with it. It's worth the gamble. But to be honest with you, I just felt that Ben Tannen had the exact style to actually beat him every day of the week. If I must fight 10 times in 1 week, Ben Tannen will beat him 10 times in 1 week. And that's because Takauchi doesn't have a well-rounded game. He's a striker by note. So it was like, the only way he was going to win this fight is if Ben wasn't going to take him down. And if Takauchi landed a nice uppercut or a nice big shot. But Ben was like, I'm going to take him down. He's not going to be able to hit me. Took him down quite easily. The easiest way to get to the arm triangle I've ever seen. And that's because Takauchi had no way of defending it. No scrambles to get up. No pulling my hips away. No wizards. None of that shit. He just, take me down. Check me out. Easy. Tough. Fight over. It's a big win for Ben. I like what he did in the post fight. I like what he said in the post fight. He called out both Rag and Anthony Malikan. He even claims that Malikan will be a harder fight for him. But that being said, he's like, I don't care. I want either one. If they don't fight in Japan, if neither guy comes right by Japan, he would like to take either one of them on in Japan. So, and that's 29th of April. To be honest with you, I'd say book it. There's no one else in the division. The only other fighter I think that can be a disruptor to that title throne would be Shamil Erdogan. He's moved up to heavyweight. He knocked out Takauchi in Japan last year. I think Shamil beats Ben Tannen. I think Shamil beats Rag. And I think Shamil gives Malikan a tough fight. Does he beat him? I'm not so sure, but I think he has a chance. He has more than the outside chance to beat Malikan. But I think that's what we're gonna see. So we can only really list like 4 or 5 contenders. I know it's Krishenko as well, but you really want to watch Krishenko fight. So I think if Rag and Malikan gets booked for April, I would say Ben took 0 damage in this fight. I would say put him on the fight card before that fight. And we do Ben Tannen versus Shamil Erdogan, number 1 contender, next in line. Simple as that. But then you need to sort this out. One championship needs to be a little bit strict on their fighters for this kind of stuff. You can't get this floundering around and we get to watch them fight once every 2 years. Like, it's bullshit. They need to be fighting a lot more frequently. So let's go, Ben. Give me your thoughts in the comment section about this performance of Ben Tannen. What do you guys think? Let's go. Okay, so lightweight MMA, we had Adrian Lee smashing through Sojo Isojima. Easy fight for Adrian Lee. We all predicted a finish. I kind of thought you could do it in the later rounds. I know Adrian said he wants to do it in the first round. Personally, I want to see him fight 3 rounds. I don't want to see Adrian Lee dominate fighters so easily. It's not good for his growth. I think the loss against Tairo Tola was good for his growth. Because that was 2 rounds. And I think he needs to go through more of that. Maybe not losing fights, but I think he needs to go through at least 3 rounds a couple of more times this year. You know, if Aiden Lee can get 2 fights this year and let him go to 3 rounds, that's going to be good for his growth, in my opinion. The reason for why I'm saying that is smashing through fighters over 1 round doesn't test you. So what's going to happen is what happens if Aiden Lee goes through a fight that isn't tied, right? Someone that's not going to beat him within 2 rounds, but someone that doesn't get tired over 3, over 4, over 5 rounds, right? Now Aiden Lee meets this fighter in round 3, and he's like, oh, I'm actually a bit tired now, and I got nothing left, right? He has to go through that. He has to go through that experience. That's gonna make him by far a better fighter than what he already is. He was talking about this in his post-fight interview, saying, "Oh, I want to go home. I want to work on the things that are done wrong, and then build on the things that are done right." Right now, in this fight, he didn't do anything wrong. He got punched in the face. Who gives a fuck? You're in a fight. You're gonna get punched in the face. That's fine. That wasn't. You didn't do anything wrong there. He did everything right in this fight. My thing is, he needs to fight somebody that's gonna push him into the round 2, into round 3, right? Someone like Lucas Gabriel, someone like Mohamed Akayev. I think Mohamed Akayev's durability in wrestling will allow it to be a tough fight for Lee. I don't know if he beats Lee, but I think it'll be a tough fight for Lee because Lee will realize I can't put this guy away so easily. So I'm gonna have to manage my gas tank. I think Lucas Gabriel is a bit of a nightmare for Adrian Lee because Lucas Gabriel is not only is he a strong, well-rounded athlete, but he's got an endless gas tank. The guy gets better as the fight goes on. And those are kind of issues. Someone that can push the pace as the fight progresses will be a nightmare for Lee, who is a fast starter. You know, he's right out of the gates, boom, he just sprints. And that for me needs to get, that's where what he needs to level up on. His boxing, his kickboxing, his jiu-jitsu, his wrestling, those are fundamentally so good already that he doesn't really have to spend that much time on it. Of course, every session he can, but I think what's better for Adrian Lee is to learn how to go at the maximum level for more than 2 rounds. Can he do that? That's what's going to be required if you're going to be a champion. You need to be able to fight at that level for more than 2 rounds, more than 3 rounds. You need to be able to go. I don't know if he's got that in him just yet. I know he's still young, but the reason I'm saying that is not because I don't think he's got the talent for it. I think he's got the talent for it. I just think that right now, the style at which he's fighting at and the way it's going may not bring him that success. You will get caught up with it against someone that can manage that kind of style. Tairo Tola, that was fucking Ty's MMA debut, and he tapped him out in 2 rounds. Ty's not even an MMA champion. He hasn't even managed 5 rounds yet. You get what I'm saying? So Lee needs to really progress. He needs to really level up that for me. Control that flame. Deal with that fire. Slow that heart rate down when you're in there. Don't go so 100 mile an hour all the time. It's going to catch up to him. But take nothing away from his performance. He was so much better in there than Shozo. So much stronger. Took him down easy. Ground and pound him easy. Devastating elbows. One thing about the Lee family, both Angela, Christian, and Adrian Lee, these guys, this family, they are evil when they're in there with you. Devastating finishing sequences. They take your lights out, and it's like that's why I was asking the question to our audiences. I was like, what do you guys think about the Lee family moving over into UFC? Right? I know DSPV was saying doesn't think that Adrian Lee or Christian Lee would hold their own in the UFC right now. At best, they could be top 15 of their divisions. At best, and I was going, that's a good point. But we don't know until we know, right? They have to be tested. They have to go in there. Because personally, I don't think one championship is the home for them. I don't think that one championship has enough contenders to make them grow as talented fighters. Christian Lee got interviewed at the end of Adrian Lee's fight. What does he think about this? And Christian Lee was saying, listen, one championship doesn't have... He would like to fight at least 3 more times this year. But he personally feels like in welterweight and at lightweight, there's just no contenders. He's like, there's nobody. There's nobody. Right? Tankai, that's featherweight, right? So Akbar Abdullayev, I think, can beat Adrian Lee, Christian Lee, but that's not his weight class. He's smaller than them, right? So Christian Lee was like, listen, there's nobody. So I don't know if I should relinquish any of my titles or even look to defend them this year because one championship doesn't have anybody. There's no rankings. We can't say who's next, right? fighters don't fight frequently, so we don't know who's been growing to make their way to the title. At this stage, the more frequent MMA fighters in this division, outside of Adrian Lee, has been the Rotolo twins, and they both only fought twice. You know what I'm saying? I can agree with what Christian Lee is saying. It's like, listen, there's nobody to compete against. That's what I'm saying. Then maybe if they and Christian Lee's only 28 years old, guys. He's young. 27 or 28. He's young. Aiden is 19. Angela Lee is also under 30. These athletes are so fucking talented that the one championship is wasting them. They don't have enough contenders. Now I'd love to see the Lee family progress and move into an organization where they can be fighting frequently. And also, if you move Christian, Aiden can still stay. But if you move Christian Lee over to UFC, right? Immediately everything for him, his whole life changes. Everything changes for him, right? Because now it's completely new fighters you haven't fought. He trains in the fucking US anyway, right? So he knows some of these fighters already. So immediately for him to be like, okay, new division, new contenders, new promotion, and a new title to get to. Then we get tested. And I think if we look at the finishes that they do, the way Christian Lee ends fights, the way Adrian Lee ends fights, it's like they're looking to really take people's lives in there. Let's put them in the UFC. And not because one championship doesn't have tough contenders, but one championship, not because they don't have talented fighters, it's because they don't have enough fighters. That for me is wasting talent. Not like we're not seeing enough of these guys. But anyway, big win for Adrian Lee. Didn't get the bonus, but I do believe that he's doing a fantastic job. Who does he fight next? Well, let's go to the next fight, and that's how I think they would fight next. I think he can either go up against Lucas Gabriel or Magomed Akayev, even though Akayev lost. I think that could be a good test for him. So let's keep moving. It's a good fight. I don't remember again. Lucas Gabriel took on Magomed Akayev. I think Lucas Gabriel goes up to 5 wins now in one championship, 0 losses. And looking better every time, dude. This was a tough fight for him because he fought the guy, let's be real, that's not lightweight. Magomed Akayev is not a lightweight. He's a welterweight for sure. Might even be a little bit bigger than that. He's a massive dude. He's heavy. He's big in there. And Lucas made it a bit easy. He won every single round. He beat him on the striking, took him down when he wanted to. He was better at wrestling. Reversed the wrestling exchanges when he was at bottom, got back up to his feet quite easily. And he managed 3 rounds. There wasn't a lot of things happening. There wasn't a lot of events where it was wild exchanges. I think Lucas, for the most part of this fight, was just playing it safe, managing Akayev, keeping him at bay, attacking him whenever Akayev took breaks, shot at him whenever Akayev was taking breaks. Whenever Akayev shot on Lucas, Lucas reversed it, got back up to his feet or got back on top, and just stayed dominant in every avenue. But neither guy hurt each other. Neither guy landed big enough shots to actually hurt each other. So there's a little bit of a boring fight, but over the 3 rounds, I think Lucas did a lot more than Akayev in every avenue. When it was wrestling, clinching, striking, he was just better at it. His footwork kept him at bay, moving faster and staying lateral and striking every time he's moving around. Never allowed Akayev to settle and actually get dominant positions. So that's for me why Lucas won this fight. I just thought that he was just better. He was just better everywhere, but not better of like he dominated Akayev. He was just better. That's all I'd say. He didn't dominate him. Akayev definitely didn't do enough to win any round or to win any moments in the rounds. He didn't. Apart from his takedowns, which got reversed, what else did he actually do? I think he'll be better off if he actually just goes up a weight class. I always say this to people when I watch fighters. When a fighter's, men or women, when a fighter's shoulders are bigger than their heads, they are they're bad fighters. They are bad fighters. People don't realize this scientifically or biologically in terms of your body. When you're fighting, like the first thing you do is you put up your dukes, right? Just by doing this, what does that require? It requires shoulder muscles. First thing it does, whoop, shoulder muscles. To keep your hands here and do this for 15 minutes, for 25 minutes, it's working those shoulders. That's gonna make you tired. It's tiring. That's why we see fighters after 1 round, the hands will become a little bit lower. Right? It's exhausting. That's why these bigger dudes, even Nico, he won his fight. Nico never kept his hands here, and only when he was being attacked, you bring it up. But other than that, Nico's hands are down here, and you could see it was like his shoulders are big, bro. It's tiring to do so. Akayev never had his hands up once in this fight. My man's shoulders were bigger than his head, and I could see after the first round he was so stiff. so much lactic acid, he couldn't even wipe his own sweat. That's how much muscle he was holding on to, that he couldn't even wipe his own sweat. And I watched that. I've been watching fights for years, my whole life. I've been involved in fights when I was younger, so I pay attention to fighters' body shapes, and I pay attention to how they move. And my guy has got too much muscle, and if he wants to fight like that, you have to go up a weight, my friend. Because the lower the weight class you go, the more agility, the more mobile, the more athletic the fighters are going to be, and they're going to move a lot. It's going to be difficult for a guy. It's going to be very difficult for a guy if he stays in this division, because Adrian Lee moves like a rocket bunny. Kaide Tolo, Tairo Tolo, those guys don't stand still. They put in a pace. Akaev will be fighting nightmare fights for the rest of his life if he stays in this division the whole time. He's going to have to go up, in my opinion. He's too big. And I don't know if he can make the weight. He missed the weight in his first fight against Ibrahim Daiwev. Go up a weight, my bro. Go up a weight. It's going to be better for you there. He fought a smaller guy today and over the weekend, and Lucas beat him every round. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that fight. For Lucas Gabriel, I think he should get either Thai or Cade. Excuse me. No. He should get the fighters that's next in line for the title. You can't give Thai or Cade a title shot. They're too new in the division. Adrian Lee lost against Thai Rotolo. But like realistically, who else is there? There's what's his name? Ali Rasulov, who lost against Adrian Lee, right? You could go Ali Rasulov against Adrian Lee, or you can go Rasulov against Lucas Gabriel. The winner of that fight gets the title shot, and the loser gets Adrian Lee. Bang, there you go. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Let's go. Oh my word, I'm almost an hour in. I haven't even gone to Friday fights yet. But I'm not going to do the whole Friday fights card. There weren't that many great fights in the fight card last week. There were only a number of fights, and I'll talk about them. Maybe only two of them. Okay, so featherweight submission grappling. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one either. We had Fabricio Andre taking on João Mendes, who's also a world champion in BJJ. But Fabricio Andre made it easy. For some reason, whenever I watch him fighters fight scared against him. I don't know what it is. I know he's a beast. I've seen some tape on him before. But like fighters fight scared against him. Fabricio Andre just fights aggressively. I think he had a heel hook catch in this fight. But for the most part, João Mendes stayed away. He didn't initiate anything. He didn't try to mount any offense. He just played defensively. He pulled guard a couple of times, but was unsuccessful with it. And whenever Fabricio Andre would go forward and do something on him, you'd immediately just curl up like a ball and not give anything away, which is fine. That's submission grappling. You're not supposed to give anything away. But if you're gonna fight in jiu-jitsu and you're gonna be okay, I'm fighting Fabricio Andre, I'm gonna be completely defensive. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get tapped out. Well, then you're not gonna win the fight. If you're gonna fight like that, you're not gonna win the fight. I'm not saying you must go out there now and give him your arm or your leg, but if you're gonna only think about not getting tapped out, when are you gonna give yourself a chance to think about tapping him out? You know what I'm saying? And he didn't do anything of that nature. So well done to Fabricio Andre. I know this fight should have been for a title, but it wasn't because there's no champion for this division. It should have been for a title, in my opinion. But I like what Fabricio Andre said. If there's not going to be a title fight for him next, then he would say, give me either Cade or Tai Rotolo. Yeah, he called out Cade mainly because that's the weight class above him, and that he's a champion, undefeated. I'm all for that. Personally, I would love to see Cade and Tai leave jiu-jitsu, period. You've done enough in that discipline, and stick to MMA only. But if they are not going to do that, which you know Tai is defending now, he's going to be defending next month, I would say then let's put Cade up against Fabricio Andre for that lightweight title. And then let Fabricio beat him. Cade, let him win, bruh. You don't need this title. Cade doesn't need that title. Cade, go into MMA, my bro. That's where you're gonna do better. Especially at 22 years old, you've got now years to make yourself become an MMA champion, MMA star, right? Don't take too long to make the complete transition, in my opinion. But for Fabricio Andre, if he doesn't get the Cade fight, don't worry about it. He's only 25 years old. I think the Okage can be patient. There will be someone to step up enough to make a title for him. But yeah, great performance. I like what I see when it comes to Fabricio Andre. He's one of the few fighters that one championship has in grappling. That's super exciting. I mean, besides Cade and Tai, Fabio Reis, fantastic. Fabricio Andre, really good, but he's not a champion. What's the woman's name that one championship hasn't given a fight since her first title defense? Bestos, another Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, great fighter. Don't want to. They're not giving her any title fights. Weird. But anyway, big win for Fabricio Andre. Let's keep it moving. Next bout. Opening bout of the night, we had Jean Rajuan beating Gabriela Fujimoto. Gabriela, excuse me. Great win for Jean. I thought she fought fantastic. I thought she was dominant in every round. Dealt with Gabriela's best threats, which was the long range striking. Looked stronger than her. Looked like she could bully her, take her down, like just beat her up with easy. The elbow finish was just nasty, just completely nasty. But that's what you get from Shadowcat. She's a beast in there, and I like that she's able to make the weight quite easily. Strong fighter, healthy, and a healthy Rajuan is championship level for me. Fujimoto wasn't even really gonna pick her to win the fight ever. Not because it's Shadowcat. I just think she's inexperienced in my opinion. She's only 22 years old. She's young. Well, Shadowcat's got years on her. She's got experience on her, and she's only 27 years old, but she's got a hell of a lot of experience already. So yeah, I think it sets her up for a title fight or at least an interim title fight. Ayaka Miura is dodging everybody. I don't know why. Chidi Sawada is claiming that she should be next in line. Denise Mbawanga is still injured. Love to see her come back. She is still the title. She hasn't relinquished the title just yet. So then I would say April 29th, Jihin Rajuan versus Chihiro Sawada, interim title. Winner gets to fight Denise Mbawanga next. If Ayaka Miura doesn't say anything, then that's the fight to make. If she does, then I'd go Ayaka Miura versus Sawada, and that winner gets the title shot. Loser gets Rajuan. Rajuan gets the winner gets the title shot after that. But that's my opinion about that fight. But Jean, big win. We are gonna try and get her on the channel for an interview. I'd like to get her on an interview. I think she's a top contender. Speaks English really well, and I do believe that she's right there for a title shot. She's very, very close for a title shot. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section while I keep it moving to the next fight card. So I'm gonna bring up on Friday fight 142. But I'm not gonna go through the entire card because I feel about Friday fights cards. These guys aren't contacted. Well, not all of them. And then also there's no rankings, so we don't know who's next for them. So it's hard to break down who they're gonna fight next. I'm gonna talk about some of the fights I thought was quite fun to watch. I want to congratulate Pampadesh for beating a legend in Apiwat. Apiwat's not an easy fight, and Pampadesh actually made the fight easy. I know it's a majority decision, but I thought he won every round. Don King got KO'd by Gregor Tom. Well done to Gregor Tom. I thought he was losing the fight. Gregor Tom lost the first round significantly. Second round, he was getting beaten up again. But then when he did go forward and threw a right hand, it actually attacked Don King. And Don King never made the 8 count. So well done to Gregor Tom. Firecruit had a very strong first round against Petnam Kong. But then rounds two and three, Petnam Kong just pulled away. Stronger, durable, older, more experienced. And started landing on Firecruit. And Firecruit, you could see kudos to him for staying to the fight all the way. But you could just see the discrepancies of age, right? You got an 18-year-old and you got a 27-year-old, and you could see their bodies. It's not the same way. The one guy is still in school and he can't take the shot the same way the other guy can. And that, for me, that was the big difference in this fight. So well done to Petnam Kong. Hussein Nuapet. Hussein came to the fight overconfident, cocky. But again, just like the fight I just said now, one guy's 18, the other one's in their 30s. Make that make sense. Even though Hussein was stylistically a problem for Nuapet, Nuapet wasn't getting hurt. Everything that Hussein landed on him, it didn't do anything to Nuapet. Like nothing. He was able to parry kicks like it was nothing and walked forward. It wasn't even. Sometimes you see fighters when they parry kicks, it's like they have to move out of the way, then parry, or they have to block it when they get pushed back. But when Hussein threw a body kick, Nuapet just went. He just did this, pushed the kick away and walked forward. He didn't even disrupt his movement or took him out of balance. And when Nuapet threw a body kick, Hussein hated it. It was wearing out his body. So yeah, Nuapet fought a good fight, and Hussein, I picked him to win. But yeah, maybe he was more cocky than he was actually willing to put in the. Because whenever he wanted to box and go forward, Nuapet countered him. So what he did was he relied on a lot of body kicks, and he wasn't going to win the fight that way. He kept catching the kick, but you don't gain points for catching the kick. If anything, you lose points for catching the kick. The other guy gets the points, not you. So yeah, he wasn't going to win the fight with that kind of style. He had to do something else. But unfortunately, he just didn't have the pop in him. But again, a big discrepancy is age. Right? We can't ignore the facts. You know what I mean? If one guy is in his 30s and the other guy is only 18 years old, right? The body types are not the same. The older guy is definitely gonna be more durable than the younger guy. He's gonna be able to take the shot. Right? I know we've seen fights in one championship where the 18-year-old, 19-year-old beats the older man. Right? But that's a rarity. It's not something that's very common. Generally it doesn't happen. So yeah, well done to Nuapet. Shay Lee versus Joanna La. Very interesting fight. A lot of guys got mixed feelings for this fight. Shay Lee, super tall. I think in the future, if she gets a little bit more loosey goosey and not so stiff and not so rigid, I think she can be a problem. She's only 23 years old and she's already built like a style that can be a problem for fighters like Jackie and Stella in the future. Might have issues with her style, but right now I don't know if she wins fights that much. And she won this fight on a lucky shot, by the way. Not lucky. I don't want to take away from it, right? Because even Prajan Chai has won fights like that where the fight goes, boom, kicks the guy with a big elbow, cuts him open, cuts so bad the fight can't continue there. Prajan Chai wins, right? But okay, Prajan Chai also fucked up Barboza for every round. But in this fight, Shay Lee was not winning the fight. She was getting pieced up badly in that first round. I wish that Joanna Lai hit the body a lot more. I feel like if she had hit the body so much more, she probably would have gotten a lot more success out of the fight. Probably would have even put Shaylee away in the second round. But Shaylee's got such a high stance, and she puts her hands out here when she's attacking, and then looking for elbows from here, not having any defense. When Joanna La was trying to punch a fucking skyscraper the whole time, when she could have just hit the body, poof, 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 poof. Just Rocky Balboa with that body, just hit the body. Low kick, body shot, low kick, body shot, low kick, body. She's so tall. She's checking none of you. She's not checking your leg kicks. She's not defending her body, right? None of that stuff. And I felt that because she was trying to hit the head so much, it just gave Shaylee a chance to get into the fight. It gave her a chance to get back into the fight. And Lau is winning the second round as well, but then gets cracked with an as she wants to into the pocket. Shaylee elbow, slices her open. Bad cut. Doctor stoppage. Boom. Shaylee wins by TKO. Right? And it left the fans getting very upset. For Shaylee, I just think that she can be a problem for anyone in this division in the future. But she has to change the way that she fights, right? She has to, in my opinion, she has a very good clinch, but didn't really get to use it in this fight. I feel like out in the open, Shaylee should almost be a bit of an asshole to her opponents, right? Knowing that no one is as tall as she is. You need to, if I was her, I'm throwing front knees, I'm throwing front push kicks, kicks to the face. I'm going to blast body kicks until the fucking year ends. You know what I mean? Everyone's shorter than you, right? If Shaylee must throw just one body kick, right? The opponent is going to go, I can't take this. They're going to have to do something about it, right? Shaylee can, and she doesn't utilize any of those weapons. She was getting a bad boxing defense. She has to change that as well. But I'm okay with the patience. She's only 23 years old. I think she can definitely get better over time. And I think the gym has to work on that. When they watch the tape, they have to realize, you know what? We need to defend our boxing a bit better. And for shorter fighters to fight her, if Shaylee keeps throwing body kicks, like aggressive body kicks, whether from left or right stance, the shorter fighter has no choice. They only have one or two choices. They either have to block it, get out the way, or take it. Right? And if they take it, they're gonna keep losing the fight. Even if they block it, you're still not gonna be in a successful position to get back at them. Right? They're gonna. It's just you're just not gonna be able to do so. Look at Nabil. Nabil fights he modeled that style so well. Where fighters don't have many options against him. They don't. Right? The best you have a leg kick against him. Outside of that, you have to get into range. And what Nabil does is he doesn't allow you to get into that range. He's like, if you're gonna get close to me, you have to pay something first for that. That means you either have to take a shot from me, right? A knee, an elbow, uppercut, anything. You have to take something from me first before you can come in. And with Shaylee, she doesn't do that. She lets people come in. So I'm sure with the watch the tape back, she must be realizing, you know what? As someone that has a little bit more brains when it comes to the boxing, might be able to put Shaylee away with body shots. La didn't do that. So I think I would love to see the growth of Shaylee and for Joanna La. Keep them around. I think one championship is to keep these women around. The division is really small. Let's keep these strawweights around. Let's give them more fights. Let's bring Shaylee back. Let's bring Joanna La back. Let's have them fight a bit more. You have a division of two of champions that fans probably not going to want to watch them fight again. Let's bring some more contenders in. I'd love to see them challenge for against Jackie, challenge against Stella. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about this fight. Is that although Shay Lee had very bad display of defense, I saw enough of the fight to know that if she becomes defensively sound, I think she'll be a freak for people in that fight. People won't be able to deal with her. They won't. She's tall, and no one else is like that. Look at the last fight that we had that was that tall in this division, Ismail Sundal. Right? Women didn't know how to deal with her. They didn't know how to deal with that size and that offense and that relentless nature of just staying on you. Shaylee can also do that. She has to be better at defense as well. Payak Seksatoon, who's Payak's younger brother, lost to Doc Mafai. Doc Mafai was beautiful on the night. Great display of weapons, good measurements. Just everything he did in this fight was just flawless. The way he attacked Payak, the way he was making Payak struggle going forward. He had Payak just fighting scared again like they did in the first fight. The sequence to the end was really beautiful. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Payak was bloodied up. He was just a whole bloody mess. He had nothing for Doc Mafai. The closing sequence was beautiful. And I want to watch more of Doc Mafai. I really do. I want to see him fight against maybe 2 or 3 more other guys. Excuse me. Before I can really get fully invested in him, because he beat someone he beat in October, right? So it's like it's a big win, but at the same time, it's like you should have won this fight anyway. You beat him already. So that's why I want to see Doc Mafai. He's also still very young, so I want to see what he looks like a little bit more, because we know the Atomut division is intense. It's super intense. So let's see what he does next. Alexia Fontaine lost to Elena Akhnativa. Akhnativa took her down, smashed her, almost got her in the choke in the first time. Alexia Fontaine, I'm not going to spend too much time bashing her. This was a pro debut, so I didn't really expect a lot from her. I felt that if she had to keep the fight standing, she would have won. But yeah, Agnativa's got so much more experience, and that's why she won the fight. Yotpupa versus Shuya Kojima. Not really impressed with both guys. Yotpupa won, but yeah, he didn't really do much. If anything, I thought he lost rounds 2 and 3. I think he got a knockdown in round 1, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, like I thought Kojima beat him up rounds 2 and 3 quite easily. So I'm not impressed with Yotpupa really. This was a big fight because these two guys are contracted. Alice Barboza took on Zhang Piaiman. And Piaiman, I thought he was going to win the fight anyway. It's in kickboxing. I think Barboza's better at Muay Thai than he's kickboxing. Piaiman went in there and just did what Piaiman does. One of the best technique you will see in the division in terms of kickboxing. His kicks, his boxing, his speed, his footwork. It's just so good. And the best thing about it is that he's only 22 years old. Only 22 years old. I won't be surprised if he gets a title again in the future. I don't know if he beats JDB. The only time I can see him become champion is if JDB retires or moves on to a different sport. Right? But right now, I think Piaiman beats Botello, even though Botello beat him twice. Both fights were split decisions. And I also thought he won the second fight, by the way. I think he beats Botello. Botello doesn't really do anything. He just runs away the whole time. The whole time. Runs away. He doesn't initiate anything. He just runs away the whole time. So I got Zhang Piaiman beating him, to be honest with you again. I know Alif can make a transition, but I want to see Alif stay in Muay Thai. I don't want to see him go to kickboxing. So Zhang Piaiman scoring for Jonathan Diabella fight in April 29th. I say book it. They're probably gonna do Botello and JDB because Botello beat Piaiman twice. So it does kind of warrant the fight. And Piaiman doesn't want anything to worry about. I think he's definitely at 22 years old. He's built for that championship fight for later in his career. But in this fight, I think Barboza was second fiddle from the beginning. He had nothing going forward. He tried to box with him. I know he has the harder punch than Zhang, but there was never enough moments for him to land anything to hurt Zhang. I think over the course of the fight, Zhang backed him up every time and just put on mad combinations on him. And had Barboza just thinking like, I don't know what to do here. This guy he's too slick, he's too fast. If it was Muay Thai, I think it's a different ball game. But Zhang made it clear he doesn't want to fight Muay Thai at all. He says, nope, not my sport. I don't want to compete in Muay Thai. Too dangerous. I'm sticking to kickboxing. And that's fair. So yeah, great win for him. The footwork was actually the key thing for me. Zhang Piaiman's footwork was brilliant because Barboza stands up very straight like this. And he's very flat-footed. And Zhang just kept with the front foot, just controlling where Barboza goes. Poof, pulls in the side. Poof. Just like the footwork was pulling Barboza into every angle he wanted him to be in. And that's why I thought Zhang fought this fight. And that's why I had him to win the fight as well. Because I just thought in kickboxing, they're not even close. They're not even close. So well done to Zhang. Suriyanlek and Mohamed Taoufyq, big fight on the fight card. One of the biggest fights on the fight card. Mohamed Taoufyq was up for me basically 2.5 rounds. He had Suriyanlek beaten up. Round one was sharp, taller, and utilized his range really well. You had the boxing going, you had the knees going, you had the leg kicks going, the body kicks going. He was occupying Suriyanlek. He had Suriyanlek missing a lot of the time. And so that's why I had him winning the first round. Second round was exactly the same nature. Although Suriyanlek did come closer in the second round because now he's getting more aggressive. In the third round, Taoufyq was managing that third round, but he slowed down significantly. And this time Suriyanlek was actually catching him. Good outside low kicks, which was really hurting Taoufyq and made him really think about his defensive strategy. And then literally towards the end of the round, Suriyanlek literally cracks him with a hard right hand and drops him. Boom. Gets the hard knockdown. At that point, I think there was about 20 seconds left, and Taoufyq managed himself with that to stay alive. But then he lost the fight in majority decision because, the knockdown thing changes the whole thing, right? It changes the rules. It changes how you score the fights. And if he did not get that knockdown, I think Taoufyq would have won the fight. But that's also how Suriyanlek fights. It's like you think you're beating him the whole time, but he's got this ability to make the fight ugly, to make it a brawl. And also, every fighter I've watched with Suriyanlek, when they get cracked by him, it's like they don't know how to come back from it. It's like, what do I do? You know what I mean? It's intense. And that's the thing with Suriyanlek, is always a game changer for him. Big win. I personally feel like he should get a contract by now because he's been fighting on one championship. He's been fighting on the big stage as well. Maybe he's been knocking out contracted fighters. Please give this guy a contract, one championship. Chowdhury, please give this guy a contract. He deserves it. Taoufyq is still very young. I know he was emotional on the night and he lost the fight. But he fought really well. I thought he fought really well. And he mustn't be so sad about it. I think the future is bright for him. He must just be patient with his growth. You will make it to that big leagues in terms of top rankings and make it on a bigger card. Because for me, he's talented enough to go there. But he must be patient. He has to be patient. The flyweight division is very, very stacked. Well done to Suriyanlek, though. Let's keep it going. Isaac Muhammad and Jirai Ishii, for me, was the biggest fight of the night on the fight card. It was the best fight on the fight card as well. We had Isaac Muhammad with the pressure-heavy game, walked Ishii down a lot of the time, made it an ugly fight. Ishii remained technical, and I thought he was walking the fight over the 3 rounds, in my opinion. I think he got the knockdown in the second round, and he was winning the fight. He won round 1, he won round 2, knocked him down in round 2, dominating the fight. Round 3, he was also dominating the third round as well. But he was getting backed up more. And then Isaac Muhammad knocks him down. Knocks Ishii down also at the end of the round. Ishii gets back up and survives the round and also starts fighting back again. And loses the fight by split decision. I thought it was the wrong decision. I'm a fan of both guys, but I thought because Ishii got the knockdown in the second round, so he wins the round 10-8. Isaac Muhammad was losing the third round, but then gets the knockdown in the third round, and then wins that round by a 10-8. But then he got the first round, and Ishii won that first round as well. In my opinion, 10-9. So Ishii had won more rounds, also got the knockdown. So there's more points on his side than is Isaac Muhammad's. So I'd give the fight to Muhammad. But it seems like judges are scoring the fight on optics. And so they're giving Muhammad because Muhammad was pushing the pace. But that's Muhammad's style. You can't think of any fight of Isaac Muhammad where he's the one getting backed up. You can't. That's just not his style. He's the one going forward all the time, right? But it doesn't mean he's getting success. He got dropped while going forward. He got struck while going forward. So it's like, even though he's going forward and pushing the pace and getting aggressive and making it an ugly fight, easy successful in doing that. Easy actually hurting Ishii. Easy winning the fight. Easy knocking him down. Easy that wasn't happening until the end of the fight, until the last minute of that third round. That's when he actually got success out of it. So optics, yeah, he's pushing the pace, but he's not really landing anything. Where Ishii was technically accurate every round, and that's why he got his knockdown. He was technically accurate with it. So yeah, I thought it was a bit of the wrong decision, but I wasn't upset about it either. I was impressed with both guys' display. I did think it was going to be a wild fight. In fact, I did think the fight was going to go the way it did. But we will see them fight again. Strawweight Muay Thai, we will see these guys fight again. I have no doubt in my mind we will see these two young guys fight again in the future. Future titles, future champions, in my opinion, for both of them. But well done to Ishii. I think personally, I think Loki got robbed here. Anyway, Jonas Annan had a good performance against Ryamu Matsumoto. Matsumoto looked a little bit sloppy in there. He is the bigger guy, but Annan fought a good fight and he utilized the clinch for most of this fight to actually win the exchanges. In the third round, he got a little bit sloppy, got a little bit tired. Matsumoto came on strong, but I think over the course of round one and round two, Jonas Annan was actually quite good. His clinch game was really good. He was able to manage Matsumoto, beat him up in the inside really well. Good knees. I thought he won the fight over the course of 3 rounds. I thought he won. I thought he lost the last round, but did a good job. Kasan Solimov lost against Pet Lampun. I think Kasan Solimov was just outgunned. Again, 18-year-old versus a 28-year-old. Pet Lampun too strong, too powerful. Also in this fight, whenever Kasan would throw his dynamic spin shots, Pet Lampun just parried easy without using any energy. And he was just stronger. He was more managed. He was able to stop the dynamic movement from Kasan by hard body kicks, punch him hard in the chest, hard in the stomach, overhands. Like whatever Petlapun did land something on him, Kasan didn't do well in responding it, and it actually made him fight a little bit more cautiously, which then favored Petlampun over the course of the fight. Big win for him because Kasan Salimov and Kusin Salimov are making big names. They are widely recognized, but I think Petlampun reminded everybody and Kasan that Petlampun is also a top level name in the division. It's just unfortunate that when he has gone up against big names, he lost. But I did always rate Petlampun as a top fighter. Maybe not top 5, maybe not top 10, but definitely top 15 easy, without a shadow of a doubt. And then Julian Mayoga knocks out Toshihiko Kunuso. Kunuso, mainly BJJ guy, so doesn't really have a lot of MMA experience. Julian Mayoga, I think, has an undefeated MMA amateur record coming into the game. I think he was 7-0 in this fight, and I thought he fought a fantastic fight. He was aggressive, he was tall, he was strong, and he took him down and beat him up on the ground, TKO'd him quite easily. So well done to him, and I would like to see Mayoga fight again in the division that needs new fighters. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time for One Friday Fights. Give me your thoughts about what you guys make of that fight card. Before I go, I quickly want to share something with you guys on screen. Later today, what you guys can expect, we're going to go live at 8 p.m. South African time, where we got an interview with Bokang Masunane, as you can see on screen right there right now. It's scheduled to go. I'm highlighting it for you guys here on the description. There you go. February 16th, that's today at 8 p.m. South African time. Click the link, click notification bell so you guys know when we're going live. Get your questions together. We'd love to have you guys join that live a little bit later. And then also we'll talk a little bit about on the upcoming fights. We got Rambolek versus Nabil Annan. I think that's 3 Friday fights away, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be a banger comment for that one. And then we have also Nong O taking on Asadullah Iman Ghazaliev for the vacant flyweight Muay Thai title. Big fights. That's going to be insane. But you guys know I'll give my previews about that one closer to the time. But okay, that is my time now. Ladies and gentlemen, have a very, very good week. Have a good Monday, wherever you guys are watching from. What else can you guys expect for that week? Obviously, Bokang tonight. Tomorrow we will be doing, I think, a preview for UFC for the Sean Strickland fight. Wednesday, we will be doing our parlay episode. Thursday, we will be doing our One Championship Friday Fights preview. Keep a lookout. We may or may not have a special guest that day. You guys on the lookout for that one. Friday will be live for Friday Fights. And I think Sunday, we may or may not go live for Sean Strickland's fight. I believe it's a good card, so we'll see how we feel as the week goes on. But I'm not going to promise you guys a live for that one either. But okay, from myself and the Fighting with Friends team, guys, have yourself a fantastic week. Looking forward to seeing you guys live a bit later. Have a good one, everybody. Cheers. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace, everybody.